Alright. Started the game here. Let's switch the scoreboard here. Catch up. Alright, so back on Arabia. We've got Illuminati playing Koreans and Corleone playing Sicilians. That very fitting for his namesake. So we got chickens in the back for Corleone. We got the main goal is off to the side. We've got some pretty defensible force, but the front is pretty open. Got sun in the front and berries off to the side. But overall a pretty good map for Corleone, I think. And then tribal here is fairly, not tribal, Illuminati is fairly close. I got some very close forests at the front, which could be pretty nice. We got the forage bushes also in the front and also the gold. So this could be a pretty good spot for Corleone to hit. And then we got one force in the back for Illuminati. The chickens are also in the back, so that could be nice and safe. Illuminati hasn't found two of the goats. And looks like Corleone is about to get the goats here. He's still looking for these for Illuminati. No idle TC so far, though it does look like Corleone has some idle eco time. I forget what that measures. So some idle villagers, perhaps. I didn't see where that might have been coming from. Maybe it's some villagers garrisoning in the TC to shoot the boar. Alright, Illuminati's going for a lumber camp at 15 villagers. And now Corleone's doing the same. Bringing in the second boar. And Illuminati already brought in the second boar a while ago. So if I remember right, Corleone does a pretty aggressive skirmisher rush with some individual unit DUC. And I forget if Illuminati goes for an aggressive strategy on Arabia, or if it's more of a booming AI. Going up to Feudal Age for Corleone at 19 pop. Illuminati's getting limb and might be going up to Feudal after this at 21 pop. As you'd expect, Illuminati's ahead on resources, but that might just be because of the later Feudal. Looks like they've gone back and forth. I think this is probably about the time when Corleone went up to Feudal Age. Barracks going down. That's a fairly late barracks. It might not be completed by the time Feudal Age is finished. We've got some farms for Illuminati. No farms for Corleone. And no foragers either. I'm kind of curious to see from Elias if that's desired for the build order. We've got a whole bunch of hunters walking back from the kit chickens rather than milling them up. I'm not sure if that's a intentional decision or not. But for now, Illuminati is ignoring the chickens. Got a second lumber camp going up for Illuminati in one of the forage forests. I think it is kind of unfortunate Corleone. If this lumber camp needs to be abandoned, they only got this little forest back here, maybe this forest here, as options to go to, which is pretty far away from the TC. Got the first skirmisher coming out for Corleone. Also got a mining camp coming up. Might be for Castle Age, might be for some other upgrades. Alright, we got a stone mining camp for Illuminati. I don't know if that's for towers or if it's for a castle drop. We'll have to see. Castle drop would make sense for Koreans since the Warbackens are pretty powerful. And of course, towers are really strong for Koreans. We could also see a tower rush. But skirmishers already coming forward for Corleone. If they can avoid that tower, then they could cause some damage here. Alright, got a market. Market as the first feudal age building is, yeah, looks like a tower defense and trying to boom up. Skirmishers found the scout, but probably not going to kill it. So those skirmishers really need to find their way to the back of Illuminati's base. So we got a blacksmith. Yeah, so this is looking like a fast castle tower defense. Got a gold mining camp coming up. Alright, so we got blacksmith techs in for the skirmishers. But Corleone is still only finding towers. Maybe they're going around to the right. They might find this lumber camp here. This archer might find something. Nope. Alright, so the skirmisher went through and surprisingly was not hurt. Alright, so the skirmisher's hitting the forage bushes, but the villagers are safe in the towers. Alright, so let's... So we got some soldiers going down here. So they're just wandering around and not really doing any kills here, unfortunately. But they are idling a whole bunch of villagers. We got a lot of idle TC coming for Corleone. And I'm not sure why. Let's see. Yeah, houses shouldn't be an issue. Food is an issue. Waiting on these hunters to bring back some food. Maybe that one forager. So I think that might be something for Elias to look at for the economy. Just not able to keep the town center running. Hey T West, nice to see you here. Yeah, I know that Corleone is like all in feudal, but like I'm definitely not an expert in the game at all. But it kind of seems like it'd be good to like maintain villager production. Since if you go all in, and bank on like the first military units doing their job, but then don't have enough villagers to provide reinforcements, then you might be losing the game. At least we know like get an economy going while the enemy is kept on defense. That might allow you an opportunity to get ahead on the economy. Alright, got some villagers going back here. Looks like they're trying to gather some stone that's protected. We'll see if Illuminati adds a lumber camp soon. Most of the villagers are off of wood right now, so that might be a while before the stone mining camp comes up. So Corleone has lost 13 of its military units. Those towers are doing their job. But Illuminati's eco has also been kept idle quite a lot. So I'm curious on Illuminati's villager numbers, if it's able to keep them coming. Yeah, so the villager numbers are mostly holding steady for Illuminati. Not really training a lot of villagers, honestly. I don't see a lot of up and down from getting villager kills. And there's only one villager kill at this point. And so it looks like Corleone's like aggression is either keeping Illuminati off of farms, or Illuminati's like going way all in on gold. I'm curious to see what Illuminati's follow-up is going to be here. Yep, free guard tower is nice here. You get +2 attack, which that by itself is really nice. You also got the extra hit points, but those aren't really going to be important here. Alright, let's see how Corleone is doing. So we got some forage bushes. These are almost gone. I'm curious to see if Corleone will add in some farms here or not. I feel like Corleone's military numbers are growing. I'm going to look at the capture age timeline again. Yep, more and more military numbers. So those guard towers are doing some work, but not enough to stop Corleone from continuing forward. And I don't think that Illuminati's villager numbers are really growing that quickly. Yeah, no, they're not. Yeah, this is just the when you're working against normal AI villager micro and trying to defend, like run their villagers to the TC all the time. This is where the individual unit micro can really help. It just idles the eco so much. But it could take a while for all of these villagers to actually go down. So a game situation like this is where I feel like it'd be really nice for, like, this all-in strategy seems to be working. Just being able to like maintain these military numbers and then go up to Castle Age and add some siege, I think would be the follow-up for Corleone here. Illuminati is still higher on score. That probably just comes down to a whole bunch of military kills. Corleone is way ahead on resources collected as well, despite having a lot fewer villagers. So despite the score, I think Corleone is ahead in the game right now. Another thing Corleone could do is, if we're gonna, okay, we got some farms going, so maybe not. Add in a market could also, if you wanted to skip out on some farms a little bit, could help Corleone get to Castle Age. It's got a whole bunch of stone on towers, a lot of villagers on stone. I don't know if we're going to add more towers, but getting that stone could be really valuable, either maybe for a castle. Yes, we got a castle going down here. But we got that castle's going to be attempted again soon. If that castle can go up, that's probably what would save Illuminati here. So we got some villagers targeting the tower along with a spearman. No murder holes for Illuminati right now. No university to research murder holes. We also got a siege workshop coming, but no castle attempt again. With all of these archers and skirmishers around, well, I think they're mostly Yeah, mostly archers at this point. 4 scrims and 40 archers. I think Illuminati would have to be pretty lucky at this point to get a castle down unless it built it right here by the TC. Alright, one of the towers is down. Ah, we got a rocket cart. I think this is the first time we've seen these in action in an AI tournament. Let's see how much damage this can do. They're essentially mangonels, but I think the attack animation's a bit cooler, I'd say. But it seems like, I don't know if we got some DC micro or not, but it seems like it's pretty easy to do some hit and run with rocket carts where they only shoot some of their projectiles before moving. So the second tower is down. We got one tower left in the back. Yeah, and the third tower is probably going to go down pretty soon. So I'm curious here if there's conditions where Corleone will attack the TC instead of trying to avoid getting in TC range, or if it'll like go up to Castle Age and add siege. If not, we might be watching this for a while. It does seem to be pretty over to me. Yeah, all villagers garrisoned or squeeze in front of, right by the TC. Yeah, I think I'm going to call this match. So here's the stats on villager numbers, resources gathered, military and score. Well, the populations, the timeline. Let's see, switching over to the DE scores. Let's flip through these. Alright, gonna update the scores here. Alright, then for Arena, looks like we got Bohemians and Bengalis for Illuminati. And then Corleone is Saracens instead of Sicilians. And we got Arena. Yeah, everyone else can hear me, right? All right, cool. All right, let's start game 2. Switch over to capture age. Corleone won game 1. Now we're on to Arena, which should be Illuminati's best map, from what I remember. Alright. And then gotta rename the AIs like always. Alright, just catching up with the game. Alright, so looking at Corleone's map, we got some back bushes. The main goal is off to the side and 2 forests off to the side. Arena map setup is pretty standard. Looks like the sheep are exploring the back area here. Not much to see here besides some extra space. Oh, we might have had a failed boar lure. And then for Illuminati's side, the golds, both of the golds are a bit forward. So, yeah, if Corleone is on the aggressive, these could be denied. We'll see what happens. And then we got some stone in the back. This is a deer map, so we might have some deer pushed in. Got the berries milled, and then the forest on either side. And then the area in the very back. It's interesting that I think the first game with Tribal and... why am I forgetting the AI's name? Sederhana. They were both also like left and right mirrored like this, instead of being like here and here, for example. I'll see if that continues or not. Alright, bringing in the boar for Illuminati, and also luring in the deer. Yeah, so that boar is still not captured yet by Corleone. And we've got some chickens here in the neutral zone. I don't know if the AIs will get these or not. They're not as important. Relics probably slightly favor Corleone, but I'm pretty sure Illuminati will be the first to get to them, unless Corleone does like a big fast castle. Alright, we got the boar coming in for Corleone. Lumber camp going up. We got some foragers gathering without a mill. And lumber camp is going up for Illuminati. Yeah, Sederhana was there is a script uploads thread for it. I forget what the name of the... I think it's Summon dash Sederhana. Yeah, Simple I dash Sederhana, if you find it in script uploads. So we got a bunch of deer here, rotting for Illuminati. I think it's pretty typical of an AI deer push, pushing them all in, but there's a whole bunch of sheep and boar also being gathered at the same time. Be nice if the AI like automatically prioritize hunt over sheep, but that's what happens. Okay, so we got some hunters here. They'll gather the rest. But as expected, Illuminati is a higher end economy. I think Illuminati's kind of favors that a bit more. We also got Corleone going up to feudal, so that also explains the differences in resources collected. It seems like Corleone is using the same build as Arabia. It might just be one strategy that's used in all maps. So we got a barracks. I'm curious how Corleone's micro will do on an arena. We'll see if it's if the walls mess it up or not. All right, got a third lumber camp. Oh, notice the second lumber camp for Illuminati, and still on a single one for Corleone. So we got a spear here for Corleone, and we'll see if skirmishers starts getting trained. I'm guessing Corleone went for Saracens for the attack bonus against buildings. Illuminati halfway up to feudal age. Those villagers might be walking back to the CC here for one drop off. Alright, so that's that villager. So, not too much action here yet, but we'll probably see some soon from Corleone. It kind of looks like Corleone's trying to push in that chicken. If that's using some of the deer pushing code, might want to take a look at that, Elias. Alright, so first wild animal killed this tournament, I think. Instead of ignoring them like Tribal does. So we got this wall piece. Maybe this one? Yeah, this one getting targeted by the skirmishers. We'll need to add in a whole bunch more ranged units to break in if you want to thread an Illuminati here. So Illuminati is going up to Castle Age at 31 pop here. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of lag as I'm watching the stream on Twitch. I can try and take a look at some settings on Capture Age to try and turn them down. Let me try and... I might be able to do some things on the game itself. Let's see if that improves things slightly. It's still looking about the same on my end. On my actual computer, the game is running smooth, so it might just be the internet connection. Alright, so Corleone is broken in. Let's see if this can cause some damage here or not. Right now, looks like it's okay, targeting an animal. So, Scout is down for Illuminati. Illuminati on 2 TCs. The Eco already starting to get targeted. Let's see what happens. My CPU is strong. I think I got like a 1300 benchmark score for multiplayer, so I'm not sure exactly what the issue could be. I can probably try and take a look after the stream. Alright, so gates down for Illuminati. On my actual computer, the FPS is like 120 when I go and check it with F11. Yeah, so we've got a few military units here, but it looks like Illuminati is trying to keep them garrisoned just because they'd mostly die. Like, I think that Battle Elephant could do some damage, but there's so many units by Corleone. I'm not sure what Illuminati's conditions would be to ungarrison them. So we're kind of near the same point as the previous game where the villagers are kind of getting hemmed in or by the TC with all of Corleone's units streaming in. Yeah, so got for military, I think find a way to ungarrison them would be what Illuminati needs to do right now. They could do some damage. I don't know if they'd be able to take out most of the army. Probably not unless they have that +2 armor. Looks like I can't select them to check them in capture age. Yeah, 74 military for a Corleone. I'm still kind of curious if these units will get ungarrisoned. But at this point, if it's like based on military population, I'm guessing we're actually getting further and further away from those units getting ungarrisoned from the stable. I think at this point I'm going to call the game. I think there's any way from coming back from 82 military population.